Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 273 of Sonic Boom TV. This episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to talk about music today. We're going to talk about Free Comic Book Day and my current health situation. So we're just going to get right to it with that part first, and then we'll talk about comic books and other stuff. So, first of all, the last couple of weeks, I haven't felt very good. It's been a weird feeling. I don't know what it was. And I've noticed that, like when I go upstairs or walk a little bit too fast or whatever, my heart starts palpitating or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I've had a family member that had a heart attack a couple weeks ago. And, I don't know if it was because of that I'm feeling anxious or something. I don't know. But I ended up... on Saturday was Free Comic Book Day, and I told some people about this on Facebook. My dad, and my sisters and whatever, and they're like, "You need to go to the emergency room," and I was like, "Oh, geez," and I felt like I needed to go get checked out, but I wasn't sure. But I went to Free Comic Book Day anyway, and then after that, I did go to the emergency room, and they checked me out, and they were like, I hadn't had a heart attack. I didn't think I had a heart attack, but they said, you haven't had a heart attack. You're not in danger of having one right now or anything like that. They did x-rays, blood tests. They said everything looks good, but you need to go get checked out by a cardiologist because we can't do all the tests. So I do think that, there's probably something. I don't know what. I'm not going to try to assume anything, but there could be anything from high blood pressure to a blockage or whatever. I don't know, but I'm going Monday, and then I'll find out, and hopefully it's nothing, or something that can easily be taken care of, and we'll get back to doing more shows. I've got a bunch of shows that I was planning on doing this week, and I just kind of put them off, and then I said, you know what, I'm not gonna spend the whole week just not doing anything, waiting for this appointment. I'm gonna put out some stuff, and then I did Free Comic Book Day, and I thought that this channel has never been about anything but music, but as far as my history goes, comic books and music have gone together. They've always been there together. There was plenty of times where I went to a comic book store and a music store on the same day. I was always listening to music when I was reading comics as a kid, and I don't read them as much anymore. I collect them still, but I don't know. I just don't find the time for it as like I used to. But I'm trying to start up again, and Free Comic Book Day has always been a fun thing to do. I don't get everything, but I try to go to a couple different stores. There was one year I think we went to like 8 or 10 different stores. We got so much stuff. I mean, we were buying things too. And I try to do that on those days, is to buy something. I didn't buy at one store this year. I was trying to, but they just didn't have what I needed. So I'm going to tell you the stores I went to. I'm going to show you what I got. I do have a few duplicates. I didn't want to get duplicates, but I kind of did. And then I got one other thing that I'm going to show before the Free Comic Book Day stuff from one of my friends. I have a friend, his name is Robbie Muso. He does a lot of work for toy companies and stuff. Like, I know he's worked on several comics as well, but he's dealt with Transformers a lot, and he draws beautiful Transformers. But he put out his little like a sketchbook. It's called Scrap Metal Volume 1. It's got a red cover. And it's just features a lot of his artwork, and he does product artwork like on toys and stuff. So like if you go maybe buy Transformers, the artwork on there could be his or other toys. I don't know everything he does, but really cool stuff. And these books are, I believe he said they were 10, and then if you get the sketch, which is what I'm going to show you guys in a second. The sketch in the back, it was $20 plus $5 shipping or something like that. It's like 20 or 25 first with the sketch, and you can pick any Transformer you want. That's what most people have been doing anyway. I think I saw one person pick something else, but he drew this Starscream for me. Freaking awesome. Oops. And he's got and giving me a little sticker for his comic project he's been working on, his personal thing. Really cool guy. Really nice guy. So if you're ever on Facebook or something, look Robbie Musso up. ROBBYMUSSO. I think he's got a Instagram, probably. He might even have a website. I'm not sure about the website. But you can see samples of his art. Real cool guy. He has those sketches for you. He'll do, all kind of stuff. Pretty awesome guy. So, Free Comic Book Day. I went to BSI Comics in Metairie, Louisiana. BSI is the closest comic book store to me, and they open first, I believe. Their limit was 6 copies. 6 Free Comic Book Day titles. Hold on, I bought a couple things, so I gotta. And so I wasn't first in line, but I was, in the top 15 or so, which is fine. They let you pick 6 of however many they had. So the first thing I got was Fantastic Four plus Giant Size X-Men. This is a double cover. Some of them do covers on the front and the back. No, this is just the front. Okay, so I like the artwork on here. I don't know who did the art, but I do like it. Don't know if it says. Don't really know, but really nice cover, I think. Now this next one is the one that kind of confused me, because on the wall they had a wall behind with all the issues. I swear to you, they had a different cover for this. This is the Energon universe. It's the the G.I. Joe and Transformers combined universe stuff. And I've been getting the Transformers comics, but I haven't read any of them because I needed 2 more issues. I need number 4 and number 9. Well, that's what I was hoping to get. I did not find number 4, but I did find number 9. But they had the Transformer on the front, and I said that's the one I wanted, and when I got home I realized they had this one. So I was like, oh no, what did I get? And then I realized this is the 2025 cover, and the other one is the 2024 cover. So, and I ended up getting that one too, later, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Then we've got Marvel Voices featuring all new Ironheart story by Justin Ireland and Julian Shaw. This one, I'm not quite sure what the voices is. I think it's giving characters that have some sort of minority status, I guess. Giving them a spotlight, kind of thing, letting their voice be heard. So whether it's a Native American or black or gay or whatever kind of character, something like that. I think that's what this is about. Female characters, like this is the female Iron Man, Ironheart is what she's called. I don't really know. I've only got 1 issue of this, and it's about that character, and I don't even remember what her name was, but I have, and I just I haven't really looked into it too much, but I thought that would be cool. The only one I've read so far. Transformers Worst Bot Ever. First appearance of Ballpoint. This is fun. He's basically a ballpoint pen. He thinks he's awesome. He thinks he's a Decepticon, so he thinks he's Megatron's best friend. And he thinks he's the best. He's everything that the Decepticons have done. He's kind of takes credit for it. Really good. It's a kid's version. The art is really cool. It's very kid-like, but it's something I would definitely want to read more of, and there's a series coming out, so maybe I'll pick it up. But it was really fun. Good thing. And then the backup story was a Family Force V, it looks like, and I did not like that at all. It was, the artwork at the beginning when they showed these monsters and stuff looked pretty cool, but the story, I was not digging it at all. So that one I would not pick up. Then this one, Um, this just kind of looked really awesome. And it's Mark Spears Monsters. It's got this fake sticker here. It says horror stereo. I don't know what that is. Be kind, please rewind. So it's supposed to be like a movie. New arrival. So it's supposed to be like the cover of a VHS or something, I guess. But really cool. I saw they had some of these at one of the comic shops, regular issues. So I don't know if this is some kind of story involving all these monsters or what's going on. This got a clown in it. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's it or something. But I'm not sure if it's like a world of these kind of monsters or what. But I want to check it out. Because the covers all featured like these classic monsters, and so those were cool. So that's 1, 2. That's 5, and then the last one I got from BSI Comics was the Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. I don't know. This artwork's a little weird for me. I'm not sure. I don't know. Spider-Man's he's weird and lanky in weird ways. It's not like the McFarlane Spider-Man. Like these fingers are kind of, I don't know, not doing it for me. But I'm not sure what Spider-Man this is. I don't know if it's Miles Morales, Peter Parker, or somebody else. There's so many Spider people these days. I don't know. So then, there's a GalaxyCon postcard in here. I don't know what. I never heard of that one. Then I got a copy of Comic Shop News, which I used to love looking at this magazine. I haven't had one of these in a while because I don't go to the comic book stores anymore. I order everything online. I bought some bags and boards from them, which was kind of for me, it was more than a purchase that I wanted to make because I was only expecting to spend like $20 and I ended up spending like $45. They gave me this DC Connect at the front counter, so I guess it's like DC's version of previews. And then I bought 2 things: the Transformers #9. I don't know what printing this is. I think it's like a 5th or 6th printing or something like that. Doesn't really matter. I just need to be able to read the story. I don't care what the cover is. So I still need #4. And they didn't have it, and neither did the other 2 stores that I went to. And then my friend, I saw him in there, and he's like, he pointed at something, and he's like, get that. So Ghost Machine. This is a thick comic. Cover price is $4.99, but I would expect it to be like $10 or as thick as this is than the way comics are priced these days. So he said it's a really good universe that they've created, or whatever this is. So I'm gonna check it out. It's done by Image Comics. And so that's all I got from BSI. BSI is a pretty good little store in Metairie. I think everybody that collects comics in this area knows it. And even outside of this town and everything, they've got a pretty good reputation, I think. So those are those. Then next I went to a place called Crescent City Comics. They are in New Orleans. They have like 2 stores. They have a regular store, and then they have this little smaller store that's like the annex, I think they call it. And that's where the Free Comic Book Days stuff was, in the annex thing. But they have these bags with their logo pressed on them. Very simple, very effective. I tore it though, unfortunately. I don't think, because I like to keep bags of comic book stores for some reason. If they have their name and their stuff printed on them. So they had more comics, free stuff, and I think their rule was 6 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 as well. And I ended up getting another copy of that just because I had to have more than one, Then I picked up Gargoyles, Demona. I remember the Gargoyles cartoon, and I know they've put out a couple comics. I've never collected any of them, but I do have the Free Comic Book Day one from, I think, last year or the year before they did one too. Then another one, My friend Robbie actually worked on a Speed Racer comic a long time ago. Speed Racer? I always used to love that cartoon, man. Very cool. Then the DC All In 2025 Special Edition Superman Unlimited. Then this one, there was some question of whether or not it came out this year or last year, but I don't know. I don't think I had it last year, and it's Def Leppard's Hysteria. Phil Collen and Elliot Rahal. Phil Collen, of course, is the guitar player from Def Leppard, which that's him on the cover there. I talked to a guy, and he said that there's a graphic novel of this. And the last one is Star Wars, Marvel 10 Years, #1. I don't know if this has got a double cover. No. Sometimes they do like a flip cover on some of the things. But the cool thing was, while I was at the Crescent City Comic, while I was in line, 4 people recognized me from this show. And I knew one of them told me his name and actually talked to me for a few minutes, and while we were inside, and I forgot his name. I think it was David or Darren or something, but it was really cool to meet him and the other 3 guys too. That was kind of cool. It's kind of shocking when people recognize me, from doing this, and it just kind of like, all right, that's pretty cool. People, in my area watch me, make these silly videos or whatever. So just want to say, thanks for checking me out, guys. Glad to meet you guys briefly. If you want to send me messages on here or whatever, please do. And I'll respond for sure. And I won't be so shocked to be seen and whatever. And then on the way out of after I got the free comics at Crescent City, I went over to the main store, and I was looking for Transformers #4, so I could finally read the series. And they didn't have. They had every one of them. Some printing from 1 to like 19. They did not have #4. And I asked the girl, I was like, "Do you have #4, or are they coming out with another printing?" She looked it up, and she's like, "We have none left, and we don't see anything for a new printing coming out," because I think they were on the 5th printing of that as well. So I'm gonna have to probably find it on eBay or something, which I don't really want to do, because the book is going to cost me like $4 or $5, and they're going to charge me $7 or $8 for shipping, so it's going to stink. But so I didn't end up buying anything from them. I wish I would have. Now that I've left, I should have just bought something else. But I didn't, so I'll probably go back there soon. But on the way out, they have a little bin by the door that usually has like magazines, free posters, promo stuff, comic shop news or whatever. And a lot of times at the bottom, they'll have like trading cards or something that are promo from like Marvel or DC, whoever. And they had something that looked like temporary tattoos. I didn't dig through all that. And they had another box that had, I didn't realize what it was at first, but it looked like little tiny Legos. And so they had a whole big box of them. I don't know how many different ones they had in there, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to grab 2 of these. And there was a yellow one and an orange one. Well, when I got into the car, I noticed they're Pokemon, and we got a Pikachu and a Charizard. So those are like 2 of the biggest characters. And I guess you build a tiny little figure out of these, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't open them up yet. I should look them up online as if they're worth anything. But interesting. So, I've got 2 of those. I don't know how many they had in there, how many different ones. If there's like probably 4 or 6 of them, I should have probably got all of them, but I didn't. So that was Crescent City Comics. Then I went over to a place called More Fun Comics in New Orleans, which is an old store. It's been there like 35 years. It looks like an old comic shop. If you go there, it's got all kind of cool stuff, toys, action figures, like vintage stuff. Had all kind of Star Wars stuff, and a lot of back issues and stuff like that. And that guy lets you basically take as many Free Comic Book Day stuff that you want, and the only thing is just don't overdo it. And so that means like don't take like if Spider-Man's the hot issue, this one or the robot, the Transformers one is the hot one. Don't take them all. Take one and take one of everything you want. And so I generally follow the rule of take one of everything. And I try not to take the ones I already had. But this time I really wasn't thinking, and I did take some of the ones I already had. So you'll see some double ones in here. But this is the one. This is what I thought I had gotten at BSI Comics. Transformers Energon Universe. That's the 2024. That's the one they had on the wall. But they had this one and they had this one, and I was like, wait, are there two different covers? And so I grabbed both of them, and then when I got home, I realized, wait, this is 2024, this is 25. So there was just one cover, but 2 different years. So I probably already have this one, just don't remember, from last year. So that was pretty cool. I don't know if I showed the bag. It's the GalaxyCon anime artwork on the bag. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty nice. And on the back, it's got dates of something or other. I don't know. I'm not going to bother to read it right now. Then we've got another Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. Then we've got All In 2025 Special Edition Absolute Universe from DC, which is a different DC one. Then this one was an accident. Got another Gargoyles. I meant to, because I didn't get all his titles either. I left quite a few. I know there was a Thundercats one. I didn't like the art on the cover, so I didn't bother with it. But there was some that I left that I probably should have just, like if I'd have swapped that out, and I know I got at least 1 or 2 more that are going to be doubles, I would have probably preferred to just swap them for one of the other ones. Dawn of DC Night Terrors Special Edition. Got the big 3 on the front there. Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Then we've got Frazetta-verse, Frank Frazetta characters. That one's just for the art. This one I wasn't gonna get, and then I was like, you know what? This is kind of thing that people are gonna be going crazy for some reason. And it's the Post Malone's Big Rig. I don't really know much about Post Malone, but he's got a comic out, and I don't know if it's done by him at all or just about him or inspired by him or something. I don't know, but I picked it up because I wasn't gonna let it sit there. Then I accidentally got 2 of these. I don't know how I got 2 of these. I think they might have been in separate spots, but we've got Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, and that cover is awesome. I love Conan artwork. I don't know if it's always the same guy. Probably not. I know Frank Frazetta did some, but I think these might have never been in the same stack, and I ended up grabbing 2 on each end. Then we've got Will Eisner's A Comics Biography, preview of his complete biography. Then here's another one by Scotty Young and Friends. It says, I Hate Fairyland. I love his artwork. His artwork is so fun. I'm glad that guy caught on with comics. He does a lot of covers. But, Then this other one, I passed this one up 2 or 3 times before I decided just to grab it. It's not the best drawing. It looks like a kid drew it, but, whatever. Hulk Teach. And it's not normal size. It's smaller than the rest of them. Then this one, Kanga Yu, Test and Torments. Don't know what that's about. It's a DC thing. It's got Wonder Woman, it looks like, or a young Wonder Woman, and some kangaroo characters. Interesting. This one might have been from last year. I'm not quite sure. It was on the bottom shelf, and it looks familiar. But the Phantom, number 0. Power Rangers Prime. You gotta love Godzilla, the New Heroes. Somebody was looking for this one. They couldn't find it at Crescent City, and this is the first thing I saw when I got to More Fun. The Gundam Wing, 30th Gundam Wing, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, kind of stuff Robbie does, and then ended up with another Fantastic Four, and then they had this, which I think this guy was the editor who signed it, Terry Kavanagh, but it's called Heroes Be Damned. It's an ash can, which is like a preview of a comic. There used to be ash cans. They used to be real small. I'm going to show you guys this one. But the guy, Terry Kavanagh, they were there and they were talking about comics and stuff, him and the owner of the shop. And I also asked him to look up Transformers #4, and no go. He said the same thing. He's like, don't have any, and don't know if we're going to be able to get another printing. So this is like some kind of, like, I don't know. I didn't read it yet, but just kind of flipping through it, there's some like characters with pentagrams and, masks that cover their whole face, and dark looking characters. And I don't know if this is like, okay, the evil guys are the heroes, or what's going on. So you get the same guys with the pentagram on there. So I don't know what's going on with this. It looks to be some dark stuff, maybe in the vein of Spawn kind of thing. I'm not sure. But the artwork's not too bad. I mean, it's a style that seems like it was kind of more popular in the 90s. But I'm gonna read this and see what it's about, and then go from there. If I like it, I might try to see if I can find the comic. And then the last two things I did buy from them. This one I bought it not because I know anything about it. I just thought this cover looked pretty awesome. The Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. That's a costume. I mean, that's a character I kind of know from that movie, but I don't know about the whole multiple spider people thing. I have not kept up with. In the kind of Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character, but I only read like Amazing Spider-Man when I'm reading it, or if there's a Web of Spider-Man or whatever Peter Parker is doing, that's the one I read. I don't follow any of the other characters or any of that whole universe kind of thing. It's just not. I'm not a big fan of when they take one character and decide to make other characters exactly, like them or based off of them. It just seems silly to me. There's no need to have, every version of a Spider-Man or a Thor or whatever. Just give me the main one. I don't care what it is, if it's a male character, female character, white character, black character, gay character, whatever kind of character. The first one is all I need. I don't need all the branch off characters because it gets a little too much. If they'd have done it just once or twice with characters, that's fine. Like Hulk and She-Hulk, that's okay. But once you do, like, every character has an alternate version, you're wasting my time. You're not creating anything new. And then the last thing I got from them, I just like this cover so much. The only thing is where they don't have the Human Torch on this, but Fantastic Four. It says 51, but it's not issue 51. But it's got Goofy as the Thing, Minnie as Invisible Woman, Mickey Mouse. I guess he's Reed Richards, but he's in this tube of whatever. And then there's no Human Torch, and the Human Torch I guess would be Donald Duck because he's right there, unless he's on the back cover. I didn't look at that. No. But it says, what if Mickey and friends became the Fantastic Four? But this is actually Fantastic Four number 29. I think they restarted the series. I have this whole series, and I've read the first couple, and it was really good at the beginning, and I was, so I'm hoping to finish it off soon, but I think they restarted with a new number 1. I hate that too. That's something about comics that just bugs me. It's like, why do you have to keep starting over at number 1? And I know they do it because it sells. Everybody wants to buy the number 1, but usually they'll say like 29 and it'll say Legacy and it'll have like number 824 or something underneath it. Why not just be 824? Who cares? It's not like some kid is going to pick it up and say, "Oh, this is number 824. I'm not going to read it," because that's not how we did it when we were kids either. We came into stories, and everything was already established since the 60s, and I didn't start reading comics till the 80s. So when I got to Amazing Spider-Man, they were well into their hundreds, 200s probably. And X-Men, same thing. And, we just picked it up, and you go. And if you liked it, then you sought out older ones, and you got what you could get, and you moved on, and you just collected from when you collected. But nowadays, it's like, okay, we did 30 issues, time for a new number one, get rid of those writers and artists, and we'll start with something new. And there we go. So that's all I got for Free Comic Book Day. That's a pretty good haul, I think. A couple purchases, a couple cool stuff. I'm saying it here, but I'm not saying it's 100% sure. But when I come back from the doctor on Monday, if all's well, I used to do a comic book, and it was called Strange City Heroes, and I let it. It was a good thing and a bad thing now that I look at it, because it was intended at first to be a web comic, and then it got to the point where I wanted it to make it into a normal, regular comic, and so it did. But it still came out on the web for a long time, and a couple years, and but it was a lot rushed. So it would be like I'd have the story, but I didn't necessarily write everything out, as far as the whole issue or whatever, because it didn't really matter, because it was an online thing. I could take my time to it didn't have to be 22 pages or whatever. It could be 100 pages for a story. So I just went with it like that. But a lot of times I rushed it, because I was drawing, I was inking, coloring, everything, all in like 3 or 4 hours. And, that's a lot to do for one page a day. So, and I was putting it out pretty regularly. And there's some drawings and stuff that I look at now. I was like, oh, wow, why did I do that? Why didn't I spend more time trying to make that look better? And so, but I put them all out, as comics, print issues for the most part. I still have two issues that never got put out, and then a half an issue that never got finished. So if anybody was following it till the end, they never did get the end of that last story. So my goal in the near future is I got to get a scanner first, but I want to finish that last story, and then start doing something else. Like I there's a couple options that I'm giving myself. One is to reintroduce that world of Strange City Heroes. Excuse me. But the way that ends, I have to basically start from nothing, basically, because it's not that like everybody dies or anything, but everybody is no longer available to use at the moment that ends. And so it's whether or not I want to build that back up again or go with something new. But I do want to do a new comic. I don't know. I keep telling myself to do it, and I make excuses, I guess, or I diddle around, and then by the time it's time to, I want to think about it, it's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm not going to do anything at that point. So that's my hope and my dream, that I'll do some comics. Again, whether they're, the same superhero stuff or something else, I don't know. I've got a lot of different things, that I've kind of got in my head, that I hope don't stay in my head and nobody else finds out about. So that's that. But I don't plan on making this channel a comic book channel, but I may do some more episodes, especially if I do something. I may do just mostly music, but then I may throw in some comic stuff. And I guarantee that when I put the label on this Free Comic Book Day episode, this episode will get tons of of views, because that's what happened last time. I just made like a flip video, didn't even call it Sonic Boom TV or whatever, just stuck it on my channel, and it was one of my most viewed videos ever. So so I probably get a bunch of people commenting on this one, but anyway, hopefully health wise I'm okay. Just got to get checked out, and we'll see on Monday, and I will let you guys know if I'm doing anything. I swear I'll show comics or music or whatever. There's also a book that I want to do, music related, that I've worked out what I want to do. I worked out what I want in it. I just got to start writing it, and that's the thing. And I have to take a bunch of pictures. But that, that's, who knows on that. I don't need anything for that except the computer. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Feels like a lot longer than 35 minutes, but that's it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.